Alrighty. Evan, did you want to start us out today with questions?
Uh, yeah, I can jump right in. Hey, coach. Hey, coach. Thanks for joining us
Hey,
this afternoon. Hope all is well. First of all, just for both of you, curious, what can fans expect this weekend during the Tyson Invitational?
Uh, at least from my standpoint, they can expect an exciting meet. Obviously, this has always been a great meet. I do want to mention this. I think, Buck, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the 25th Tyson meet. Um, and I think that shouldn't go unnoticed. I mean, 25 years of having a spectacular meet with the Tyson name on it and all that he's done for us, for the sport of track and field. And it's the silver, I guess, um, meeting of Tyson Invitational. So we appreciate all the support. We're excited, much like the men's team. We always look to have spectacular performances. There's a lot of great athletes coming in, and so we're looking for another great meet, the 25th year edition of that meet.
yeah, I mean, I echo ditto what Chris just said. Um, this Tyson weekend is iconic, I think, in the world of track and field and indoor track and field. It's been on the same weekend, the same quality of collegiate and pro athletes. Yeah, so it's we're right in the heart and we're right in the heat of the battle right now as far as the collegiate season is concerned. Things are heating up on the pro side. So, um, converging together, it's going to be a heck of a track meet.
That's awesome. And kind of going off of that, you've touched on being in the heat of the season right now. Both the men and women are up to number one in the rankings. I know, coaches don't love to look at that, but I'm curious, do you kind of use that a bit as a mark of where you guys are now and how much better you can be, even having that number one next to your guys' names?
Go ahead, Chris.
Obviously, it's great, especially to have both programs. Actually, with number two, I don't know how he dropped, and we didn't compete, but that's a ranking. It's great to have our teams at the top of the heap, and obviously, people think that we're really good, and we like to think we're good, but we understand that it's just a ranking. We prefer to finish that way than be ranked that way. Um, but it just shows the strength of our programs, both of our programs, and obviously, our expectation is to win when we have a shot to win, and it looks like we're going to have a shot to win on the men and women's side. So we're excited about the opportunity, but obviously there's a lot that has to happen before we get to that point. But we're really excited about it, and hey, our peers think a lot of us.
Yeah, again, I think it's a validation of our kids and the hard work that they put in. We're we've been hovering around the top five for quite a bit now. So it's for our kids, I think they're not really looking at the rankings as much as they're looking at self improvement. And again, that's where this meet comes in. It's about continuing to improve from what we've started. The season is, even though we're kind of in the middle of it, it's still a little bit young for us because, we didn't compete last weekend like a lot of other programs. Um, and so, this will be another good sign of where we're at as we approach the championship season. But it's always good to be ranked number one. It lets our fans know that, hey, they're going to see some quality track and field. If they come down to Tyson, and I recommend if you come down to watch us on Friday, anywhere between 4 and 7:30, the elite races and some great field events, and then on Saturday from 12 to 2:30, 2:45. It'll be, 3:45. It'll be prime time for those elite races and field events.
Awesome. Sean, I'll turn it back over. I'll let you know if I have anything at the end. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Evan.
Matt, did you have a question?
Hey, yeah. Hey, for Coach Johnson, I noticed that Kaylin Brown is not listed on the event schedule this weekend. Is she okay after she had that fall a couple of weeks ago?
She's okay. She's getting back to form, and obviously we don't want to rush that back. Obviously, the conference meeting is very important to us. So we'll have to take a timeout this week, and hopefully we have it ready to go for the conference meet. But it's one of those things with a hamstring; it can be very, tenuous. Getting back into the fold of things. So we hope to have it back for the conference meet, and we didn't want to take a chance. It's only been about 10 days or so. So we're looking to have it back for the conference meet.
Okay. And then for you and Coach Bucknam, if you'll both answer this, just what are some of the specifics, that maybe you've seen in the first couple of meets that you're looking to build upon this week?
For us, it's just our preparation. I'm a big body language guy. I'm watching practice this week. We're approaching a huge meet with some of the best athletes in the country coming, into our facility. So it's just a question of Matt just kind of building on confidence and building on, the performances that we basically just kicked off at the Tyson Invitation. At the Razorback Invite 2 weeks ago. So I'm just looking for that. I'm looking for good health. I'm looking for great body language. I'm looking for being unflappable and the chaos of a huge track meet. To see how our guys react. So it's a mind game as much as it is physical, and we got to carry ourselves like we always do, and really kind of compartmentalize and focus on the job at hand.
Much like Buck, obviously we're looking for athletes to be composed and have the ability to compete at a very, very high level, understanding that there's a lot of talent coming in this building this weekend. It's just about that time when people are starting to start their peak, and understanding for us, we're just getting going. This is really our second meet, third if you want to put it on paper, but this is really our second meet of the season. So our kids are going to have an opportunity to go out and compete, and we're excited about that. Hopefully we can stay healthy and go out there and just deal with the pressures of what it's going to take to compete at the SEC championships, and also to prepare for the NC2A meet. But we don't put the cart before the horse. We take one meet at a time, much like the men, and just continue to build. And we're looking, as much like Buck said, as body language, we're looking to see how you're going to compete when the level of competition goes up. How you're going to handle yourself, and how you're going to be able to get through the warm-up and just get comfortable being a little uncomfortable in your own building. And this is a great preparation for the SEC meet, which is the best meet in the country, and then turn around and go to the NC2A meet. But obviously, it's going to take it's a process to get to that point, and it seems like we're trending in the right direction.
Hey, Buck, you had Scotty Vines have a really nice debut for you a couple of weeks ago. I know you're real high on him, but did it surpass any expectations at all? And then, what do you expect this week as he, I guess sees even better competition that he's going to be facing?
Yeah, I mean, Scotty is off to a great start. We kind of expected that because of what we've seen in practice, and his ability to compete. He's a great competitor. Again, I use the word unflappable. He has been in some big meets on the world stage as a junior. As you know, he's the reigning world junior champ outdoors, and so he's been in some big meets, and that's important to carry forward as we go into these kind of meets, Matt, that continually get better and tougher and mean more. So he's a work in progress. I think Rob Jarvis, our coach, is doing a great job with him, and again, it's the Midas touch, so to speak. If anybody ever remembers that, it's just being able to put little things on his plate that he can work on to try to get better and get to a point where he can help us at the championship meet. So try not to put too much pressure on him. It's a very finesse event, but you can see he's a freshman. He's not as strong as as some of the sophomores, juniors, and seniors that he'll be competing against, and that physicalness will come as we go through his maturation process. But he's handling everything great. He's just a fun competitor, great teammate, and it's just been a huge addition to our program. Nothing like young talent coming in and having that swagger a little bit, and that's kind of a swagger event. Yeah, as you know, that high jump is front and center right there, right on the finish line, and I think he thrives on having the attention and trying to do the best he can. So not surprised, but expect more.
And then my last one, hey, Coach Johnson, for you, one more on Kaylin. She had so much success last year, whether it be at the NCAA level or what happened at the Olympics. Is there any encouragement that you all have to have with her to, because she hasn't had maybe the success that she's wanted to have to this point in the year?
Well, I can't say that she hasn't had success. I mean, I think it's patience. She's only ran one time, and then obviously she got a little dinged up her second run of the year. That just comes with the territory of being a high-level athlete and being used to being a high-level athlete. And last year she was a freshman, there's really no expectations. Now she feels the expectation, not that we're giving her more expectation, but she feels it. She wants to do well, and that's just going to take time and just a maturation process to do it. So it's up to us to put our arm around her, let her know everything's going to be fine, and just bring her back into the fold organically. And number one thing is to get her back healthy. And the training staff are doing a fantastic job with that, and we're easing her along. But it's one of those things that takes time. But you'll see a lot of high-level athletes. They go through highs and lows. That's a part of it. But we feel like when it really matters, she'll be ready to go.
Okay, thank you, coaches.
Anybody else with a question? Coach Bucknam, one for you with your distance crew, and Yassine is going to be going back to Boston this weekend to race at 5K again. How for this indoor season have multiple guys threaten school records and actually break school records, where it's him and Patrick at 5K, and then he also bettered the previous school record finishing behind Ruben when Ruben lowered the school record again. But how refreshing has that been to have multiple guys chasing some legendary marks on the program?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Hats off to how hard our kids have been working all the way through last summer. We're starting to see the fruits of that labor, and how competitive of people they are. Whether you take all of our athletes, whether it's Ruben Reyna in the mile, whether it's Yassine in the 3K, he's gonna make a run at the 5K Friday night. And try to put a big mark out there. The number one priority obviously is to secure a qualifying mark in the top 16, but he's done a great job. And then, we've got some guys that are in the kind of, in the shadows a little bit, but could put on, and we need them to put on a big show this weekend. The 3,000-meter invitational here on Friday night is going to be phenomenal. It's gonna be one of the best races in the country, and so we'll have Patrick Kiprop and Ben Shearer and Ruben Reyna in that race, and they're all trying to run around 7:40, which is awfully fast, just to make the top 16 nationally. So the race will be set up, and it should be really exciting. And yet the 5K is a kind of a different beast, and that's why. You've seen after competing at the Razorback Invite, running that 3:55 mile, we sent him back to Boston to make sure he's in the race in Boston that Grant Fish is going to go after the world record. So, and the indoor world record. So, Yassine hopefully feels good. He felt great this week. He just needs to get in line, get in that race, and hang on, because there's some incredible distance running going on right now in the U.S. and we'll put them in the mix, see what happens. But yeah, been a lot of fun, Sean, to watch our distance runners thrive so far. We just got to keep the foot on the pedal, and we just got to keep trying to get better. And hopefully we can run some good fast 3Ks this weekend, and in a good 5K for Yassine, and then we'll drop Elias Schimmel and Davis down to the 800 on Saturday.
Thank you, Coach Johnson. One aspect of this season has been Nia Robinson, who ranks #2 in both the long jump and triple jump on the UA all-time list. How has she handled adding the triple jump back to her arsenal, I guess, and being able to excel as well as she has so far this indoor season?
Well, I think she's done a really good job, but obviously, being a dual jumper, it's very difficult. The technique is sort of different. It's a lot different from the long to the triple, and the demand is high, and but I think she's wants to do what's best for the team. We feel like this is what's best for the team, but also we feel like she can excel in both jumps. And last year we just couldn't really nail it down, and I think Biggie's done a fantastic job with her, getting her prepared to be able to do both. And obviously you see that she's a very talented young lady. So those two working together are putting it together, and we feel like there's more there. And I think we'll be excited to see what happens. On another note, I'd like to give obviously our assistant coaches kudos. They've worked really hard up until this point to get the athletes, men and women's side, to be able to perform at a very high level. I'd like to give Matt Downs a shout out. This is a very difficult meet to put together, organize, and with the scheduling and the management of all the different teams and different pros that are coming into this meet, and it's time consuming, and people see the finished product, but there's a lot of work that goes into what he's able to do and accommodate everybody and make this meet a really, really good meet, one of the best meets, if not the best meet in the country, year in, year out. So kudos to Matt Downs and the meet production and the organization of this meet. So we're fortunate as coaches to have someone to be able to do that type of thing. And so we can focus on what we do, and that's coach. And so that doesn't go unnoticed by us, nor Buck, if you will. So kudos to him as well.
Yeah, I think that's great, Chris. I mean, there's, I think, what, 1,200 Division I male and female athletes and pro athletes coming here this weekend. And it's a limited field. Not everybody gets to run. There was a cut list, so phenomenal track meet. I think it's and we're hoping that we get some fans coming to the facility on those prime times on Friday night and on Saturday to watch future All-Americans, NCAA champions, and Olympians compete. So hope we get great support in between the baseball games that are going on, and hope that people will support our men's and women's program.